Hello and welcome, everyone. We're going to look at the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. I'm sure you heard about yoga. Many people all over the world have heard about yoga, but not too many people have heard about Patanjali. Patanjali is very famous in India and among Indians, and among a lot of people who have studied who know what yoga is. Patanjali is perhaps it's among the greatest sages of all time. It's the level of Shakespeare, Confucius. In India, it's a household name. Patanjali is a huge genius, and he's associated with yoga. He's well known because of yoga. He wrote a fantastic work on yoga. Very small work, but very profound. The weight is heavier than this whole world. Very weighty book. Uh, when you read it, you really have to. In fact, you probably need a commentary to read it. I've studied several commentaries from Swami Vivekananda. Vivekananda is a great Hindu scholar who came to the West, came to the United States for a while. He was here. He started some movements out here. He translated the Yoga Sutras from Sanskrit into English. So he had a commentary for it. Huge commentary and very, very, his English is very good. And he's a super intelligent genius. Swami Vivekananda did a great work because he explained so many of these terminologies. You see, if you just read the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali without some kind of guidance, you may not be able to make head or tail out of it. They are very complicated, you know. So you need some kind of, guidance as you read along. That's where commentaries become useful because commentaries tells you how it applies to your life and my life. How otherwise these things will be like somebody looking at saints in heaven and saying, but they are over there in heaven, but we are here on earth. You see, you cannot, heaven and earth are not the same thing. So that's the whole thing. You need somebody to be able to connect the heavenly language with the earthly so that we can understand what is going on. So that's where these great commentators do a lot of fantastic work. I just translated. I've not even written a commentary. Commentaries are, you have to, but I'm doing it. That's what I'm doing in this video. I'm technically commenting on the work, but I still have to go and do a scholarly work, sit down and, formally write commentaries. Okay, verse 1 this is the commentary, verse 2. That's what the great Swami Vivekananda has done. And you also have Sadhguru Velan Swami, was born in California and heads a mighty Hindu ashram in Hawaii. He has also done a translation, written fantastically to help enlighten human minds in this business. I'm just going to jump into it and read part 1 for you. Now, writes the great sage Patanjali, now the teaching and explanation of yoga. 2, that alone is 1. 1 says, now the teaching and explanation of yoga. 2, yoga is the restraint of thought. Yoga is the restraint of thought. The control of flowing thought. The control of flowing thought. Protecting it from assuming destructive or negative forms. Protecting it from assuming destructive or negative forms. Did you understand what that says? I take it again. Yoga is the restraint of thought. The control of flowing thought. Protecting thought from assuming destructive or negative forms. Okay. 3, at that point, the seer dwells in his own natural state. 4, at other points in time, the seer is of identical form as the flowing thought. 5, there are 5 categories of flowing thought, and they are either painful or not painful. 6, they are right knowledge, wrong knowledge, delusion, sleep, and memory. 7, right knowledge is established on straight perception, inference, and reliable testimony. 8, wrong knowledge is the false knowledge. Wrong knowledge is false knowledge not established on true appearance, but illusion on real nature. 9, delusion is following certain communication, mere words devoid of ultimate reality. 10, sleep is the mental activity established upon emptiness. voidness of other mind substances. 11. Memory is the preservation of perceptions, not letting mental records slip away. 12. These flowing thoughts are restrained by practice and non attachment or dispassion. 13. Practice is the persistent struggle, making effort again and again to gain steadiness. Practice is the persistent struggle, making effort again and again to gain steadiness. 14. This practice becomes firmly grounded when continued with great persistence, perseverance, and tremendous love. 15. Detachment or dispassion towards the visible or audible. Everything seen or heard is mastery attained. 16. The highest discipline of detachment is the non-craving which proceeds from thorough knowledge of the indweller. 17. Samadhi, the meditation known as right knowledge, is followed by critical thinking, clear understanding, perfect happiness, and the sense of I am. 18. There exists another samadhi or meditation accomplished by the persistent practice of abandonment and cessation of all mental activity, leaving only insignificant impressions as residue. 19. This meditation, when not accompanied by non-craving or total detachment, becomes the cause of shapeless existence and all beings who are merged in their nature. 20. For others, enlightenment comes through faith, energy, mindfulness, brilliant focus, and clear understanding. 21. Enlightenment is quite close to those who love dearly and are highly committed to their yogic discipline. Training and practice. 22. There is further classification regarding the degree of effort used or level of commitment as elementary, intermediate, and advanced. Elementary, intermediate, and advanced. In other words, low level, medium level, and high level. 23. Or by devotion to divinity. In other words, enlightenment is very near to the faithful or devotees devoted to God. 24. God is a special universal indweller. I want you to note the definition. Patanjali is giving us a good definition for God. God is a special universal indweller, unaffected by pain and suffering, actions and their consequences, or boundless desires and lust. I take it again. Definition of God. God is a special universal indweller. Special universal indweller, unaffected by pain and suffering, actions and their consequences, or boundless desires and lust. This is powerful, and it connects to teachings of Gautama Siddhartha the Buddha. They said they do something bad, God punishes them. And God, on the day of judgment, God will come and he will send people to hell and heaven. Oh, they're just delusions. You punish yourself. If I do a bad thing, I get what Buddha calls karma. God has no business with right and wrong. John chapter 8, the Pharisees brought Mary Magdalene to Christ and said she had committed adultery. Christ was like, why did the heavens not fall on her? Let her commit adultery. God had no problem with Mary Magdalene committing adultery. She's a child of God. God had a problem with the Pharisees trying to stone her because thou shalt not kill. Jesus Christ was sad because Mary committed adultery. Thou shalt not commit adultery. She had sinned, but two wrongs do not make a right. Right? So Jesus Christ corrected Mary Magdalene. Do not sin again. You cause yourself to die. You are a child of God. Correct yourself. Mary Magdalene corrected herself and became a saint. Give her the opportunity. Don't stone her to death, Pharisees, because you'll be breaking another commandment. Two wrongs do not make a right. Thou shalt not kill is law. You guys are not going to respect the law, but you expect Mary Magdalene to respect the law. Now we shall stone her to death. Well, you're just doing the same thing that Mary Magdalene did. Right? So Jesus Christ dismissed them out of his presence and corrected Mary Magdalene. John chapter 8. But as for further studies, those who want to read that, please do read and reflect. All scriptures are the same. They give them terminology to say this is Bible, is Christian literature. This is Quran, is Islamic literature. This is Bhagavad Gita, that's Hindu literature. And then the other one is Sutras, Dhammapadas, those are Buddhist literature. Well, you see, if that's what you call them, that's fine. If that's your enlightenment, that's great. Great enlightenment. Good. You know. So writings are writings. Sages are sages. Wisdom is wisdom. That's what Christopher Aburime taught. So students understand it. Writings are writings. Bible is the same wisdom as Quran. Quran is the same wisdom as Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is the same wisdom as Dhammapada. That's it. I have studied all of them. I have translated all of them. I now teach from them. Wisdom. All you get from these things is wisdom. So if you decide to classify Christian teachings as different from Islamic teachings, as different from, or you are welcome to. What you call Christian teachings is Judaism. Old Testament is another religion, in fact, entirely. Old Testament is so different a religion that Jesus Christ was called a criminal and he was killed by the authorities of the Old Testament. But yet you still believe that is the same, and it is not. Jesus Christ came into the temple, the Bible told us, and he healed a sick person who's been sick for nearly 40 years. Jesus Christ didn't live 34 years. The person was there 38 years. More than Jesus Christ lived the totality of his lifetime on earth. Jesus Christ was fed up with the sickness. He said, get up and get out of that state. You are a child of God. Why should you be in that state? Jesus Christ was charged with breaking the Sabbath. And you tell me that, oh, where the Christian literatures are? Oh, Bible has Old Testament and New Testament. You see, this is all stupidity. Old Testament is another religion. It's so much a different. Judaism is so far afield that Jesus Christ was called a criminal and hung on a cross for doing good, for healing. They said, no, this is Sabbath day. Sabbath day. Did Jesus Christ respond? Was Jesus Christ dumb or did he respond? He responded. Did they accept his response? Is Old Testament the same teachings as New Testament? Is Judaism the same thing as Christianity? You see, so we leave that to them. Anybody, I thank God I'm not in the fold of those. So I'm teaching Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. So I'm just trying to help you guys to understand those sharp contrasts. Jesus Christ will come into a temple and help a human being who was perishing and suffering, crippled for longer than Christ lived on earth. 38 years, he could not. Jesus Christ had so much compassion like the Buddha did. He said, geez, how can you be there for 38? Get up and leave that situation, oh child of God. Jesus Christ was called a criminal for doing that. I need you to understand. He was later crucified. Punishment for a criminal. Who did this? People who have no understanding of the purpose of Christ coming and the actions, the good deeds. These people cannot be Christians. So Judaism is not Christianity, and Old Testament is not Christianity. Old Testament is not Christianity. So, but for them who have a magical, wonderful, miraculous way of reconciling these things, good luck to them. Good luck to them. So I have given Christopher Aborime's interpretation. There are other great people who have wonderful interpretations of how Old Testament is Christianity and New Testament is Christianity. Good. So you have other ideas, it's fine. I'm going to continue to read my sutras. God was defined. Okay, in fact, let me conclude this teaching with the definition we give to Godhead, and then we'll continue in its different section to finish it. I want you to highlight this, my students, those people who are in agreement with my teachings. Those who are not in agreement with my teachings, please help yourselves. There are 8 billion people in the world, and they are not all of one fold. They cannot all be of one fold or one teachings. But those who are in my, who believe in what I'm teaching, I need you to highlight these. And please note the definition of God again. It's a strong definition. It appeals to me. God is a special, universal indweller, unaffected by pain and suffering, actions and their consequences, or boundless desires and lusts. God has already created you humans. He's already sent Jesus Christ, his only son. So God cannot babysit us. God does not want to babysit us. That's why he gave you intelligence, he gave you brain, computer up here that can run the rest of the program. So if you wish to do bad things all the days of your life, God is not going to come to strike you for doing that. He doesn't care. If you want to do good things all your life, it's up to you. Right? If I take perfume and I spray perfume on myself, good, I smell good. You can do the opposite. So God has left every human being to he has given you the program that runs. He sent his only begotten son, Jesus Christ, to teach you the right ways. Those who still want to act contrary still kept. Jesus Christ was crucified. He wasn't given a Nobel Prize. That should tell you the state, what human beings want to do. And God Almighty does not want to interfere with what they want to do. If he wanted, he could wipe out the earth in this flash. He has created them to live freely. If you want to be a good soul on earth, be good for you. If you want to be a bad entity, be. He has created them and left them. He sent Jesus Christ. Give correction to these guys. For Mary Magdalenes who are going to correct themselves and become saints. For even St. Paul, who went way astray, St. Paul came and gave his whole life for Christ. Jesus Christ said, I brought the gospel. Those who are well don't go to hospitals and stay there all day long. Right? I came to give good news of the kingdom of heaven to the tax collectors and the prostitutes. To those people who needed it, not the Pharisees. Those people who don't need it, who are already over righteous. They don't need the message. This message is good for some. There's the Jairus who climbed the tree. He told Jesus Christ, you must come to my house today. Right? Was a Pharisee, a tax collector. Right? He got Jesus Christ. He entertained Christ. While others were hateful and tried to crucify. So you have to understand there are 8 billion people in the world. There's a large population. A lot of diversity. So highly diversified. The objective of life, the reason why we are here, is to understand God. The higher nature, that's what I just read to you. God, understand God. And be devoted to God all the days of your life, to the understanding of God, to the realization of God. Once you do this, you're going to feel joy and happiness throughout your life, not pain and suffering. So life is for study. It's for the study of divinity. The reason why we came to this world, there's an objective, there's a goal of life. The reason why we have come to this world to study and to understand God. Divine studies. This is why God made us. God has created us to be able to understand him, that he is God. And that we are God. Because we and God are inseparable. John chapter 10 verse 34, Jesus Christ declared to them, you are God. John chapter 10 verse 34, Jesus Christ declaring. Jesus Christ is not just declaring to them that you are God, but he said that is the law. These guys, we have their Bibles. He said it is written in your law that you are gods. Jesus Christ said, John chapter 10 verse 34, that you are God. It's written in your law, Christ said to them. So Jesus Christ is saying it. It is written and it is a law. What can be higher than that? Than our divinity. But human beings are lazy. They don't want to. They stay in the atmosphere. They are lazy people. They don't want to develop. They don't want to do yoga. They don't want to practice meditation. They want to concentrate. Jesus Christ already given the rules. You just need to sit down and practice. and then you come to what is called an understanding of divinity. Cheers. And I'll return to continue. We're just about halfway through the first verse, but we like the definition of God, and that's where I wanted to stop on the first verse. Cheers.